folks, well today we were invited out to this big beautiful piece of property here in the mountains of Vermont to investigate a place that the landowners have come to call the Trapper Camp. Now I talked with them about that and they're not sure why they call it that. That's what the grandparents called it, and that's unfortunately where the information ends. I checked the old maps. There didn't seem to be any habitation up here. Hiking in, I didn't see any stone walls or really any stonework of any kind. But there are lots of streams, brooks, and swampy areas, so it would make sense someone was up here trying to make a living fur trapping. Now, it might not seem like it. I actually had to look it up. Less than 1,000 trapping permits are pulled every year in the whole state of Vermont, but in colonial times, arguably fur trapping, especially beaver, is what fueled the exploration of all of North America, selling those beaver pelts back to the folks at home. I have a very rough estimate of where this place might be. No GPS coordinates, unfortunately, today, so we're gonna wander around and see what we can find. Now this area is absolutely beautiful, but super hard to walk in. There is just swamp everywhere. I don't know if you can see behind me here. We're gonna have to kind of hopscotch around to all of these high spots and keep on going. Well, we know what does that. Looks like we're in the right spot. Well, we are here. I was instructed to look for a clearing. Now, there's lots of clearings out here, but this particular one has both a hole, which may or may not be a basement. There's not much stacked stone. There's a little bit right here, but that's not enough to say for sure. But what it also has is this. That's a well, a very deep well. Appears as though it's dry at the bottom, so you're not going to be able to tell how deep, but somebody was living here. Still not sure how old it is. The term Trapper Camp is still in living memory, so it might just be 80, 100 years, less, more. Hopefully we're going to find out. I'm going to get my metal detecting gear out and see what we can find. Alright, well we just got our first target here. It is a piece of cast iron. It's got an interesting lip on it up here. If I had to guess, I'd say it was a cooking vessel, which is a pretty good sign. Hard to say how old it is still, but we're gonna keep going and see if we can find something that can pinpoint the age a little bit closer. Alright, we've got our first reasonably good target here. 65. Find out what it is. Whoa, you see that? Look at that. Popped right out in the plug. Would have been part of a cup, it looks like, based on the curvature of it. Let's see what the metal item is here. Is this it? Yeah, whoa. Alright, well, I had suspected that this place was going to be, I don't know, late 1800s. Look at that. That is a beautiful, what I'm going to call colonial coat button. That is gorgeous. Alright, well, that was unexpected. Let's see what else we can find at this place now. Alright, well I just got my first, what I'm going to very cautiously say is a coin tone. It's hard to say. Might be a big button. But that's a big, beautiful, clean, high tone. So, it's right at the base of this tree, which hopefully means it's not under a root. Let's see. Alright, still down there. I'll give you a close-up here. Yes, up. I see it. Look how green that is. That's definitely a coin. Can we tell what it is? Because of how thick it is, I have to assume it's a large cent. Let me get it cleaned off and we'll look at it together. Alright, well I cleaned it off just enough so that I could read the date, which is 1803. This is a drape bust large cent. This coin appears to be pretty smooth. Most of her detail has been wiped away over the years, so it's not going to get a whole lot better than this, but it's still a beautiful coin. 1803, alright. A lot earlier than I was expecting. It really makes you wonder if these folks really were trappers. How the heck that story got passed down through the family for so long. Alright, let's keep going and see if we can find some more. So I'm walking around metal detecting and I just spotted something which I saw it and I was like, no, that's not what that is. But it definitely is. Check this out. So there's just this tree, pretty good size, and I saw this and I was thinking, man, is that a claw mark? It's pretty big. I don't actually see any more over on this side, but on this side, look, boom, boom, boom. That was for sure a bear, black bear. They climb trees. A lot of people don't really realize that, but they can climb a tree faster than anything I've ever seen. A lot of times if you do come across a mama bear with baby bears, the baby bears will be up in the tree. And if you're lucky, mama bear will be too. You can get out of there, but whenever this one went up, it looked like it was going pretty quick. Put huge claw marks in like that. Pretty incredible. Let's hope we don't run into her today. Well, this target I would not normally film. It's only down in the 50s. But I don't know if you can tell, it's shooting way off into the air here. So we're going to see what this might be here. Appears to be right on the surface. Help myself out with my shovel here. Oh, I think I found it. What the heck is this? Whoa. Huh. Well, you can see what the design is here on the back. The front's pretty dirty. But the back, you can see it's a stamped metal. Man, that's interesting. Get all the roots off of it here. That almost looks like it's a lid to something. Don't know. Little flowers on it. They must have had a lady up in here with them. Alright, it's very thin, very delicate. I'm not sure exactly what that might be. It could be just because of the lip of it. It makes it seem like a lid to something, but let me know what you think. Beautiful. Let's keep going. Alright, well, I am not sure what this is. It was just a very low tone. And I dug the hole, got a very general idea of the shape, and stopped to get the camera out. Now, I think this is hollow. Let's see. Yeah. I believe it's brass. Let me get it cleaned up a little. Alright, well, I'm not sure. There doesn't seem to be any designs on it. I've seen things in the past that look like this that were watch winders. So maybe that's what this is. Let me know what you think. It's cool, whatever it is. Alright, let's keep going. Alright, well, we just got another coin tone. We know that they're out here. This one is reasonably higher than the last one. It's an 83. Let's see. Still down there. Let me bring the camera around. Alright, let's check down here. Here? Yep, look at that. Man. I admittedly not only wasn't expecting coppers today, but I was not expecting coins. I wasn't really expecting much, to be honest. What is this one? Let me get my toothbrush out and get this one cleaned up. Uh-oh, I hope that's not thunder in the distance. What do you think? Is that another large set? Yep, check it out. It's another drape bust large set. This one a year earlier than the last, 1802. This side is pretty beat up, but that's what it is. 2 pennies out here from a couple hundred years ago. Incredible. Again, if this was a trapper's camp, these folks would have been working hard for these. Hardier people, that's for sure. So I could just hear a little trickle of water in the distance and decided to go investigate. I saw a giant clearing, and I'm pretty sure that's a beaver pond. I think I can see the beaver dam. Let's go check it out, see if we can spook a beaver. Oop, that's a squirrel. Beavers are crepuscular, which means they are most active during dawn and dusk. So he's probably sleeping right now. Wow, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Looks like a duck just landed in here. Bugs flying all around, butterflies. No beavers right now, but awesome. I was just digging this hole, and I don't know what it is yet. It wasn't a very good target, but I just woke up this little sleeping, which is these little orange salamanders. He's just a little guy. Glad I didn't hurt him with my shovel. Aren't they awesome? From what I understand, they actually eventually find their way to water, and their tail turns into more of a fin. They become aquatic and live their life there, but this is just a baby one. We're going to let this guy go and see what's in this hole here. Yep, just a big square nail. Kind of what I was expecting. But you never know. Let's move on. Alright, well, I just found probably the biggest thimble I've ever seen. This is certainly a giant men's thimble, and if this was in fact a colonial trapper camp, some pioneer several hundred years ago was using this on his finger, pushing a needle through a sack of pelts to then ship off probably back to England to make, you know, beaver felt hats. Beautiful. That's a big one. Well, it would have been too big for my finger. Alright, that's a good find. A lot of contextual history. Beautiful. Let's see what else we can find here. Alright, well, once again, I was just kind of looking around for my last target of the day. And what do we have here? Another, what I'm going to call a coin tone. It's an 83. A lot like the last large cent we found. Let's see. Alright, let's give you a close-up of this one too. It's right here. Not quite as deep as the others. Let's see what that means. Of course there's our root right there. It's under the root. There it is. Got the lip of it. It was... That is awesome. It was underneath the root, laying flat, just like this. Whoa, what do we have here? Let me get this cleaned up a bit. Alright, well, unfortunately this side is completely smooth with no detail. But as we flip this over, oh, that's awesome. We can make out the chain links of the 13 colonies around the outside here. On the inside, it would have said, "We are one." And in 1787, this coin was made and designed off of the artworks of Benjamin Franklin. This is the Fugio cent. Incredible. On this side, it would have been a sundial. And at the bottom it would have said, "Mind your business," which I'm fairly certain had a different meaning in 1787, but still very cool. Incredible. Well, this is, not a whole lot older than those early 1800s drape bust large cents, but far more significant. This is a colonial coin. I'm not entirely sure how long this was in circulation in people's pockets. But certainly if these folks were up here getting pelts, in the early 1800s, this may have been in their pockets. Incredible. Alright, that's a very good note to end on. I'm going to search this immediate area a little bit more before I go, but let's get our stuff out and see what we found today. Alright, well, the wind is starting to pick up. I am going to start hiking out of here so that I don't get wet. But we had a great end to an already fantastic day out here in the mountains. I'm not sure I was able to necessarily substantiate the landowner's name of this place, the Trapper's Camp. I would have loved to find, an old hatchet head, an old trap would have been amazing. But what we did find was a lot of kind of late colonial period artifacts that were fairly typical for a home. A lot of coins, which is great. If they were a business up here, trapping and selling the pelts, they would have gotten money for that. So let's take a look at everything. So for starters, back here we have a bunch of lead. This seems like a larger slug, but I did find a whole bunch of these very small balls here. The types of animals that they were up in here after, muskrat and beaver. This size caliber makes a lot of sense. Whatever this is, I still haven't really decided, but I have a feeling this is quite a bit later than the coins, because I think that this would have been mechanically created, punched with a machine. We have the thimble, which is beautiful, large size, man size, 4 buttons. This the more I look at it, the more I think it's probably a watch winder, which is very interesting. I've never actually found one of those. For coins, we have an 1802 drape bust large cent, an 1803 drape bust large cent, and of course, Benjamin Franklin's Fugio cent. So, the way family stories work. They get passed down. It's a game of telephone. Things change. Maybe this was a trapper's camp. Maybe it was just a home up here. Again, no stone walls. Hard to say what they were doing up here, but they dropped a few things. We found them. I'm going to head on out of here. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.